Good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live, Web3 Network, Quad Box today. I'm rolling with CAGYJAN, Biggie Poppins, Gifdead. These guys need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyways. CAGYJAN, one of the best Web3 gaming personalities in the whole space, so I'm excited to talk about that. Biggie Poppins, the man, the myth, the legend there, collector, just all around awesome dude. And Gifdead, my co-host here on NFT Live. We appreciate you guys joining in early. I see you, Easy, Prodigy, the Juice Man himself's in the chat. DP, what's going on, fam? We're going to have ourselves a great show today. We're going to talk on Web3 gaming because, again, we do have CAGYJAN here, but we're going to touch on the entire space. DeGods is dumping. We got some heavy metal updates, I think. We have SugarTown, which I want to jump into, but we're going to get into a bunch of stuff. Biggie, I'll start with you. Let's go clockwise. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, Q. It's a great day to be alive in Web3. There's a lot going on. I'm pumped. I got a couple of reveals. Got airdropped a fantastic piece by an artist that I supported early on, and it's just like starting to get collected by some of the top names. And dude, we had a great space today with GIF leading the charge on Web3, man. I mean, what else is there to say? Just a great day. GM.
Nobody told me it was Hawaiian Shirt Day, so I guess Gifdead.
I had to do it because
hit me with the message.
GIF is a bird. He's finally a bird.
Yeah, you should have checked the Telegram, Q. You missed the memo.
We did see this in Telegram. So it's CAGYJAN, real quick. I'm gonna touch on something with Gifdead because this happened. We've been waiting for this for weeks and weeks, years in crypto time.
An
what
eternity.
happened today?
That's what happened. I'm a bird. Officially a Moonbird Mythic. I entered the nest with this, the sacrificing of my first oddity. May it rest in peace, rest in power to my first oddity. And yes, it has a fanny pack, and I'm okay with that. I am coming to terms with the fact that my first Mythic has a fanny pack, but that's okay. He's business in the front, party in the back. He's got the shoulder pauldrons and the eye patch, so you know he means business. And whatever he's holding in that fanny pack, you probably don't want him to have to pull it out on you. That sounded weird. Pause.
All right, we're going to get to the man of the hour here. CAGYJAN, of course, has a long history as a good friend of mine and us here, but also had a show on the Web3 network at one point in 2022. So big shout out to him coming back here and showing us what the hell's going on in the Web3 gaming space, man. What's up, Caggy?
No, it's always I'm always happy to collaborate with you guys and jump in and kind of kick it back and forth and talk about Web3 in general. Glad to see Biggie here. I just met him. Gifdead, I met him before, but really nice dudes you're hanging out with. So much love. Let's kick it.
I appreciate it, dude. Hey, if you were at home right now, you already know what to do. Leave a like on the show before we get started. If you have not been here before, we do NFT Live every day, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're giving you the latest Web3 news, latest crypto news. We touch on a lot of different things. I mean, we even go off the kilter a little bit. We touch on, I hate to use the term politics on YouTube, but we're all over the place.
We don't shy away from anything, Q. We do it all.
I love it, man. All right. So again, I gave you the rundown. So we are going to touch on a lot of Web3 gaming stuff today, but DeGods is making rounds. We do have some Grails talk that I'd love to get to as well, Biggie. But before we do, I mean, we have Caggy here. We have been touching on Parallel. We have been touching on Rec League, that game from N-Way Play and Animoca Brands. Caggy, give us the state. And I know it's a big question. So I'm teeing you up here. Give us the state of Web3 gaming. How are you seeing it today as opposed to your time before, maybe in 21 or 22?
Well, yeah, let's start with Parallel and Rec League. These are two games that have a lot of hype. I'm not really sure the reason why Parallel has hype, but it has hype. I would lie if I told you why, but it seems like they're doing things right. Rec League has a lot of hype as well, but that's obvious. Bored Ape community is strong as hell. Anything that they come out with, they're going to support. I actually have access to it. I haven't sparked it up yet. So pretty cool concept. I think Bored Apes or Juga, what they're doing is just kind of like throwing games out there, see what sticks. Kind of, it's almost like they're researching the market as they go by throwing games. I kind of like the strategy. It doesn't look coherent, but I know for a fact that this is more like, okay, let's see what happens here. Let's throw this mini game here. Let's do this. Let's do that. Since they have so much money, I think that's a great strategy to see what people in general want from Juga Labs. So, yeah.
Bit of shotgun approach. Rec League is definitely something that we're starting to get more excited about. We did a little bit of coverage and actually got picked up by the Rec League account by Yatsu and Harry Lou yesterday. So that was pretty cool. But that allow list closes today. So that's one of the important notes. If you go to recleague.xyz, I think today is, I believe, the last day to get in on that allow list. And it's like a side scrolling PvP fighter game. There you go. That's our video. We did a summary for it yesterday, and I'm, of course, the one video that we actually get some traction on. I have to be wearing my ugly sweater from ABGG. But yeah, I mean, Kagi, as far as we know, there haven't really been any high quality fighter games like this in Web3. It seems like one of the things that they're doing different is obviously just the type of game, but also the fact that there's this pink slip PvP winner take all aspect, which actually seems really cool, right? Like people like high stakes gambling, and now you can maybe do that with gaming.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to target the market here. I mean, that's what people do, is straight up PvP, winner takes all, that's what you do in Uniswap. So why not just take it to a game, right?
I love that.
So yeah, I think that's we're going to start seeing that a lot in a lot of games where, risk has to be involved. When it comes to Web3, you need to have some risk elements, at least not necessarily in the core game, but at least some game modes that have risk involved for sure. So yeah, that's really nice.
All right, I'm sharing the link for the episode. We want to get as many folks in here today as possible. We just pressed live about 5 minutes ago, talking Web3 gaming here with Kagi. You have any thoughts on ApeCoin at all, Kagi? We obviously saw Ronin Network with the RON token, with AXS token having success, SLP. What are your thoughts on tokens as they stand today within kind of an NFT gaming ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, Ape is so strong that's going to pump no matter what. That's the truth. Like, not financial advice, but it's going to pump in the bull market 100%.
Let's go.
100%. Now, let's see what ABGG is doing. This is really interesting. So ABGG is actually creating a chain. So it's called the Gotchi chain, powered by the Ghost token. So I imagine the Ape token is going to become a blockchain. So and they're going to do it in the Polygon chain. So Polygon 2.0 is going to allow people to create their own chains using their own tokens. So we're going to see that a lot. A lot of these strong IPs are going to create their own chain. And it just makes sense for them, because that way they have control of the market, all the fees and all of that. So I think Ape, if I'm not mistaken, is on Polygon. Don't be surprised when you see Ape be a blockchain on Polygon 2.0.
Like it. All right. I don't know if Ape is Polygon yet, but I could definitely see what you're talking about.
I thought it was. Yeah.
The piece that you were bringing in there with your own blockchain, right? You have experience and a kind of up and down history here with Axie. You've been really critical of them at times. You've been like a huge supporter of them at times. What is Axie like today? Because I feel like that's where you're taking that maybe example with Ronin being the blockchain that Axie's built on.
Yeah, I mean, Axie recognized this from the beginning, right? They had a strong community, and they said, you know what, we can be like Epic Games. Epic Games created Fortnite and a few other games, but Fortnite blew up so hard that basically any game that goes into Epic Games is powered by the Fortnite community. So kind of in the same way, Axie understood this, that we'll power our own blockchain. We have a strong Axie community. So any game that goes into Ronin is powered by the Axie community. So the Axie community gets excited and they go and buy and participate in the new games, or even in the new drops like CyberConks. That's why CyberConks was successful. And I knew it was going to be successful because of that. And I know you guys didn't have that context at the moment, but I understood from the beginning that it was gonna sell out just because Coco, the guy behind CyberKongs, the big investor behind CyberKongs, he's also behind Axie. He saved Axie multiple times from going bankrupt. He's not gonna let CyberKongs ever go broke, ever. That's only gonna pump, you know. So I knew it was gonna be successful. So same thing with Axie. I knew it was gonna be successful because Coco probably has $500 million in the bank. So he's not gonna let it happen. He's not gonna let it go down. Anything he puts his hand on, it's not going down.
All right, this is probably a good time, Gift, to hit the disclaimer. This is not financial advice across the entire show, but Gifdead, hit him with it. And we also have some comments to get to. A lot of people giving Kagi some love here in chat. Good to see all of you here early and often.
Yes, it's great to see all of y'all hanging out in the chat. We really love to see it. We love to see y'all showing up here early and often, as Q would say, but especially on days like this when we got a stacked house. We got Biggie Poppins, we got CAGYJAN. It's going to be a great combo, and we're just getting it going. But it is important for us to remind everybody, as always, that this is not financial advice. Nothing that we say up here is, or on any platform, frankly. We're not financial advisors. All this info was found publicly on the internet, and all these opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team. Always do your own research. All info is public domain. All right, we said it. We have to, for your safety and ours. But it's out there now.
All right, let's hit this chat because it's absolutely lit right now. Young Content, first of all, making an appearance. This is just a throwback episode at this point. Space Smells Like saying, Fantastic Four, great group today. Prodigy is in the house as well. Left Action House giving Kagi some love. Who else do we have? Rocky R. Mike Erlinson. I want to throw this out to the group here in just a moment. We'll kind of work our way around the gaming discussion today. Obviously, we want that to be a focus, but Mike is saying, anyone scooping a DeGod? And there was actually some updates here from the Blur ecosystem on DeGods, and DP is here as well saying, what's good, homie? Nice to have everybody, man. Again, this feels like a throwback episode here. Guys, I don't even know where I want to really take this. I guess Gifdead decided for me here. We got DeGods.
Well, just real quick, Floor's down to 4 ETH right now. I mean, 4 ETH is that's quite a drop from where it was.
Disastrous.
I mean, yeah. So look, maybe as like just a quick follow up. You know, we just shared out a video. Jacob, our executive producer, killing it with the clips on the NFT Live channel. Basically me saying yesterday that I think that all the people saying like, oh, this was some master psyop reverse Uno card that Frank had planned all along. It's like, you look at the results of it, and if that's the case, not only did he lose trust, but like clearly he hurt his own project with this masterful reverse Uno. So I just think it's all copium. And yeah, now might be a great buying opportunity though, because I am still bullish on the project. If I had some extra ETH laying around, I probably would buy.
Dude, it's still a 10K purchase, GIF. I'm curious, what would be your thesis there? Because to me, like, I mean, believe me, I want DeGods to succeed. I like the art. I would have never upgraded it. I like the edgy punk look. But honestly, here's my issue right now with that is that, and it goes back to what we talk a lot about, transparency coming from the group, from the project leaders, right? And I know he likes to keep hammering on the fact that they're profitable, right? But unlike other projects, he does not show any transparency there. And to me, that's the big issue there. Like, to me, like, I mean, I don't know, maybe get down to 2. That's still almost a 5K purchase. Maybe I'd consider it there, but I need to see a lot more than just fancy words and project, proclamations. I need to know what the runway is. I need to know what the end game is. Is it going to be? Are we going to be the Soho House of Web3, or are we going to be some hype project that just throws parties around the world and has friends that you can call on whenever you land, as if all these other projects don't have that as well? So I really do need some clarity there from Frank. I'd love to support, but at this price, it's just not happening.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, go ahead, Q.
No, there's some other context here. Points Parlor we'll get into in here in a second, but there were some tweets that came out here today from NFT Stats as well as Cirrus. This being the most important. This is going to throw a lot of gasoline onto the fire that is Blur destroying the NFT space. But Machi is up to 300 gods, but that's not even the worst part. There are now 350 underwater DeGod loans on Blend. Put simply, around 7% of the total supply is in the hands of forced sellers. Collections that are on Blend have an extremely tight margin for error. One small misstep and your holders are trapped in the blender for a week straight. And the blender could also be described as a downward spiral, a death spiral, if you will. So DeGods might be caught up in this right now.
Yeah.
Again, Machi has been one of the most, I don't even know what to call him at this point, most visceral or most infamous profiles on Twitter right now, and one of the most infamous whales, because when he gets his hands on a project, seemingly everything goes wrong with the floor price, at least. So that's where DeGod sits today, just to give that context.
Yeah, and Rocky's saying Machi already started selling them too. So I don't know. We got to follow up on all of that. But obviously he saw an opportunity, started acquiring. Maybe he realized that he was getting in too early and is catching a falling knife. I don't know. Mike's saying he's buying, whatever. It's a tough situation though, because right now it might be that rocket fuel to the downside. To your point, if the blender has turned on, if the blender is in play. Also shout out, Young Content asking, question to the entire gang: how haven't you gotten burnt out on the whole space? Yeah,
we're fireproof, brother.
We're dragons. We're Targaryens. Yeah, don't get burned out. This is a great question.
Would you buy a DeGods at 4 ETH?
No, man. Look, I got out of the NFT space as a whole. I think NFT, just straight up PFP kind of projects. I used to have CyberKongs at some point that had other PFPs, but I noticed that it's very hard to kind of create a product around it, right? And it's just, I don't know. I don't want to play the game. I know there's a game to be played there. I'm pretty sure I would play it pretty good if I really was interested, but I'd rather just not play it if I'm not all in. So I kind of just don't have any PFP projects. I'm focusing on gaming, but I see the grind, man. I see the grind. I understand all of this. I've been I follow all this this stuff going on with Frank going from Polygon to ETH and now changing. I know all of it. So I get what you guys are saying. So I don't know, man. You guys do you. I'm good.
I like that though. It's play to your strengths, right? Gaming is your thing, and so you stick to your lane. That's good, man. I think that's very important. More people should take that to heart.
Young Content, I think GIF was touching on this, but Young Content asked a great question there, and I think it's relevant to us four up here having been in the space for a long time. I don't want to go down a full rabbit hole here, fellas, but maybe a quick answer on why you haven't gotten burned out to this point. One thing I will say is over the course of the last 3 years, I've seen a lot of cool things being built, right? So things like heavy metals, specifically, like Bored Ape keeps me really bullish on the space involved overall. Heavy metals, other side, a couple of these things with Rec League and just developments there get me interested, as well as this build out of IP and lore. I just like the storytelling aspects that I see out of NFT projects now. So that keeps me involved, as well as hanging out with these awesome fellas up here pretty much every day. That keeps me going as well. But I'll open this up to y'all.
Yeah, I'll keep mine short, but this is the third down cycle that I've been going through, possibly. And all I can say is that every time the down cycle is over, the upside is exponential. The products keep just getting better. And it's up and to the right when you look at the adoption curve. So that's why I'm still here. And I get to meet amazing people. I'm part of really great communities. And so, yeah, not burnt out at all.
Yeah, I agree with all that. A lot of it is the people that you surround yourself with, how you curate your timeline, and getting to hang out with these amazing people, and the people in the chat that show up regularly. If it wasn't for all of y'all, there's a good chance I definitely would have crashed and burned and not stuck around. And to the macro trends of it, the technology underwriting this whole movement, I when I came in with a very long-term perspective that was focused on empowering artists and creators globally through technology and understanding the macro trend of like technological adoption, network effects, etc. And so, cycles be cycling, markets be marketing. That's going to go up and down, but that doesn't change where I think it's all going. And not only that, like the deeper part of it is feeling like a deep belief that what we are living through is the digital renaissance and wanting to just be in it, just be all in it. It's not all good. Trust me. There's parts of my life that are absolutely on fire, crashing and burning. And I don't care. At least I try not to, because I want to keep building in this space and be part of it no matter fucking what. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like I don't like literally I could die. I literally feel this way. I could die, but if I'm putting everything into like trying to be in this and just feeling like I'm part of it, like the ups and downs are kind of what makes it fucking exciting, and yeah, it's not all good. A lot of it's trash. Dude, I hate the scammy bullshit in the space, man. Like it really does. Some days you just want to be like, fuck this, fuck all y'all. This is trash. You're all fucking trash. Like some days I feel like that.
The industry too.
Yeah.
Go, finish up. Sorry.
Well, no, but then you have to, again, come back to the things that ground you, the good people, the wins, and focus on that long term again.
X is almost more exhausting. Me and Gif have been having these conversations, just like trying to grow presence on X, because you see that's where the space is now. And X is the most exhausting part, I think, of this industry. It's not the products, it's not the people, it's the incentives that are built up on X in having to act a certain way. It sucks. So, but Kagi, what do you got, man? Why are you still here, brother?
Yeah, no, man. Look, I started my channel in a bear market. So for me, when I see my views, for example, be at 1,500 views, sometimes it gets to 2K on a video. It's like I go back to my beginnings. I had 50 views and 20 views. What am I complaining about? What am I complaining about? I believed in this before we had anything, right? I was here in 2020 doing NFTs, and I really believed in the idea of having digital ownership. I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. We need this. And as a gamer, I was just like, this has to be it. And I don't see a world where this is not it. And I also know there is like Gif said, digital renaissance, right? So, and that's not gonna last too long. This is a moment you gotta seize it now, in terms of money, in terms of recognition. If you want to be recognized at a certain level, right? Whether as a content creator, artist, or whatever, this is the moment to grind. This is it, right? And all that keeps me, fired up, and also new goals, right? So first, I had the YouTube channel. I kind of achieved a certain amount of success, right? And then I was like, what's next for me? Like, do I really just want to keep doing videos my whole life? No. Okay, let me spark up a website. Now I have juicenews.io, which is kind of like a newsletter for new gaming updates, right? So I have like 10 people working for me now. Now I'm a CEO, or whatever you want to call it, or a founder. It's not easy. It's kind of hard, right? It's kind of hard. I also have the Juice Team, which is a gaming organization, and I really want to go into esports in the future, right? And have esports players under contract and all of that good stuff. But how
Let's
am I going to
start the Rocket League team, dude? Juice Rocket League. Come on, bro. Put me on. Put me in, coach.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about navigating this new goal that I have now, which I'm not really sure where I'm going with it. It's not 100% clear. And I kind of like that. There's some type of fear behind it that keeps me going, where I don't want to fail. So that keeps me here, So yeah, that's kind of what keeps me around.
Yeah, man. And like you were kind of saying things that really resonated with what I was feeling too, which is like you're putting yourself fully into this moment. Like you like And no matter what happens with this shit, because it can fail even more easily than it succeeds. God knows that I've failed a lot in the space and I'm constantly learning. But at the end of the day, no matter what people say about me, even if they look at me and everything that I've done and be like, oh, this guy didn't fucking make it, he failed, whatever, I'll respect myself for trying. You know what I mean? Like I'm putting everything into this shit, like literally my existence on the line, trying to make this shit happen. So regardless of what anybody fucking says about me, like at least I know that I'm here. You know, I'm trying.
All right, Young 10, I appreciate. Biggie, you got any last thoughts?
No, I was just gonna say, like, summarize, like, one thing that stood out to me from both of you is that you're tremendously focused on what it is you're trying to achieve in this space. And I think a lot of people that get burnt out in this space is precisely because they lack focus. They try to do everything. They want to be in everything, and you dilute yourself that way. And so you want to really like pick like 1-2 niches that you're really passionate about and put everything in there, you know, as opposed to try to have, you know, be an octopus and have your hand in the cookie jar everywhere, which I am guilty of trying to do sometimes, by the way.
All right, I'm gonna start a poll here. Gif, you're muted. But I'm going to start a poll here in just a second to ask whether you in the chat do you feel burnt out here today. But we're going to get to some positive things as well. But what's up, Gif?
Well, first of all, shout out DP keeping me honest, saying, Gif, you're just wasting money. Be quiet. Yeah, that's, you know, fair point. Touche. But also what Biggie was saying is kind of full cycle. You know, Kagi knowing his strengths, really buttoning down his vision, focusing on gaming, maybe not wasting too much money on PFPs. All that type of stuff. I love that this episode became like crypto anonymous, you know, all of us just like sharing our sharing our stories, trying to like help each other. But sometimes, you know, that's what you need in the space. And again, if it wasn't awesome for these groups of people, like probably would have been way more burnt out a lot faster.
So Shamu Moon is saying, guys, quit with the lovey-dovey. We all love this shit. It's ups and downs. My crypto pickle doesn't burn out. Same.
Nice.
Amazing. I got that poll live, by the way, if y'all want to check that out. Otherwise, let's get back into the discussions just to round out the DeGods discussion as we watch the floor price dip below. It's down 35% on the day, by the way, here. 55 over the last 7, but it might go below 4 ETH. Let me make sure I got this last point. Points Parlor is now open. Stake your DeGods to earn points. Use your points to open packs, and every pack contains a prize. Points Parlor is simple, but beneath that simplicity lies a multi-layered gaming experience. I love how they, like, with these rollouts, with the marketing around these rollouts, it's always like, it's simple, but it's really complex. And like that's what they were talking about with the art as well, how it was very simple, but it was really complex to get it to put together. Different packs of different prize distributions. Pack prizes change depending on how you play. This isn't a game of chance; it's a game of strategy. Apparently, you can win a Tesla here, sponsored by Kraken. So, we'll continue to watch whether Points Parlor has any effect on that ecosystem. But it looks like right now, DeGods is caught in some type of death spiral with Machi now dumping his DeGods that he's got. Any price that you guys are buying DeGods out here? I feel like when we talked about Ether and Azuki, there was a little bit more negative sentiment involved around like whether the intentions of those teams actually sucked. But what are you buying DeGods at here, folks?
So I hate to say it, but it seems like we've seen this story before with Moonbirds, with Doodles, with several of the other quote unquote blue chips, and the floor usually ends up close to 2 ETH or even lower, and that's I'm not trying to hope that that's where they go, but I again, it's like we've seen where these quote unquote blue chips that were at that 7, 8, 9, 10 ETH range, when they hit these death spirals, they get caught in the blender. They usually don't stop until they get down to around 1.5, 2 ETH. And honestly, if I was going to be buying anything, really, to be honest, it would be high-end generative art like Squiggles, if I could afford that, like Marty, Squiggle Sweep. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to take a look quickly at the markets here. We're going to go for about another 30 minutes. We do want to touch on some other Web3 gaming developments here. I think SugarTown is one. Also, Kagi, I want your take on Reboot. here if you've seen anything from that ecosystem, Reboot and the GG token. But taking a look at the market real quick, obviously we just hit on DeGods. Let's filter by 7-day volume here. So DeGods absolutely eviscerated. Bored Apes are again below 30. Miladies is seeing some type of bid, 28% up in the last 7 days. Nobody knows, why on that front. It just seems to be the case.
It's
with
the
Miladies.
Illuminati.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the NFT Illuminati, bro.
We love Oni Force here. They did get a couple teasers out about a Fortnite integration and a Fortnite map for Oni Force. Heavy Metal's up. That's good to see. Up at 77 floor price. Gift, we're close to our floor, our average buy-in here for our heavies. So we'll have to have a discussion here on what we want to do with that. Naka's sitting at 0.31 here. Any other things stand out to y'all here on the price front? Pudgy's sitting at 4 as well. But yeah, before we move on, any takes here?
Nope.
Not a single take. Last take here. I will give a good shout out to the Moonbirds, which are, I believe, still holding the highest unique owner to supply ratio at 63%. I mean, that's one you have to look at here in the bear market and say that's a good indicator. When you see DeGods sitting at 29 and some others that are sitting even below that, you got to watch out, man. When it's accumulated that much. Biggie, do you have any thoughts on unique ownership?
Yeah, as I've stated here in the channel, I think it's important. If you have a concentration of whales just holding the project, it's not much of a community, And I think we've had so many different founders come on the show and talk about how paramount community is in Web3 and early Web3 projects, right? Like real believers. And so I think that just shows conviction in the community. And if GIF was to hop on the Discord, he would see that, but he just refuses.
Well, absolutely ape shit with the stream.
You called out the unique distro on Moonbirds and how high that is. I've been talking a long time, pretty much ever since we've been talking about DeGods, about that being one of the biggest concerns, that they have actually a pretty low unique distribution of holders for such a large project. And I think that's part of what you see when things turn against you. That works against you. You don't actually have as robust a community as maybe people thought. And then the other thing is this: live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're gonna play these like hype games that hype you up and get you these crazy gains and people taking out massive bids on your project because they're all anticipating you to break the fucking internet. This is what happens when that turns against you, right? So it's live by the sword, die by the sword. And like Frank said, he's being kind of dramatic when he's like, oh, the hype meta is done. It's like, no, you just got burned by it for the first time because you didn't do a great job overhyping a bid drop in a fucking bear market. When liquidity comes back, it changes the game again. You know what I mean? But for right now, yeah, maybe overhyping isn't the best move. And what Pudgy Penguins is doing, that slow, steady, incremental growth, is a healthier, more sustainable business model or way to grow a project.
All right, Mike is saying unique ownership is a double-edged sword. I'm interested in breaking that thought process out because most of us here on stage believe that unique ownership is leading to organic community growth. Obviously, not one-to-one. Not every user that is or collector that is buying one is going to join the community. But when you have a higher unique ownership, it feels like you should have a more connected community there. So yeah, break that out. Rocky R saying how many Rec League boxes is everybody minting? 16 is almost max mint. Big W. I'm assuming that means you can mint 16 boxes per wallet, but we can break that out as well. Last thought on this before we get to we can dive back into gaming. I know this is tough to see, and again, I wanted to stay in the positive, but I did see this from Whale today. Is this the bottom yet? And this shows the top or percentage down from the all-time highs on the floor prices.
This makes Caggy look like the biggest giant fucking 200 IQ big brain up here saying I don't fuck with PFPs. PFPs are hard to have a product.
But it might be a good time for CAGYJAN to get in. It might like we're 98% down from all-time highs.
I mean,
I didn't see him pull out his ledger.
I had some of those, but nah, man, I'm good.
He said, "I'm good." All right. From this list, fellas, I wanted to get your take here. From this list, is there anyone that you would see that would be a good acquisition target for? Because I know we have the little lemons. Like anyone that stands out, could be a quick lightning question. You don't have to get too deep into this, but you see like Art Gobblers, you see Mechaverse on here, Hape,
Dead fellas.
Dead Fellas. Okay,
Dead
Cryptodes
fellas.
is on this
Oni
list.
Force. I mean, the ones that we talk about regularly, but honestly, like I like a lot of these projects. Like I'd be picking up MFers, I'd be picking up Pudgy Penguins, DeGods. DeGods still need to drop. I'm still bullish about Nakamigos long term. Yeah, those are some of the ones that I like.
Okay.
Doodles. I still think Doodles is probably a solid buy.
Somebody needs to buy Mechaverse. I know we're on the mech hype train with heavy metals, Reckley, all this stuff, but somebody needs to acquire Mechaverse and do something with that.
Not
all
me.
Right.
I mean, how many bags of Skittles are you offering it for?
True. I wonder what their treasury looks like too. Okay. Anyways, we're going to close out that last poll here in chat. Let's see what we got from the results. So 85% of you voted no on do you feel burnt out in space right now. So congrats to you guys.
Bullish.
Of course, we are sitting with CAGYJAN today, so Web3 gaming is on the mind. We appreciate you guys joining for NFT Live today. Thank you so much for spending some time. I know you got other things to be doing, other places that you could be, and you're spending it here with us. But let's jump in. So I've got SugarTown here that I want to get to. They had a trailer release here, an explainer video, essentially, for what is essentially a new Web3 game or platform that's being released. I want to get y'all's takes, but let's jump into the trailer really quick and see what they got going on. All right, so a bit of a hype trailer there. We'll get to some other information around SugarTown, but initial thoughts as we dive into the details.
I'm a trailer maxi Q, but ever since Ether, all I got to say is, do the curtains match the drapes? Because, it's easy to make a banger with trailer, but there's a lot more to it than that. I'm sure Kagi will say.
Yeah, man. Look, there's a combination of things going on here. First, trailer, like, okay, whatever. You gave me a trailer. Cool. Cool. All right. What the hell is this? I guess, it's part of the process of hyping a new project, which is fine. Like, I'm not against it or anything. But then it's Zynga. This is a Web2 company, multi-billion-dollar company. You think they have the best interests of Web3? I don't think so. I want to be wrong. I really do. Because we need Web2 companies to kind of fall in line with the Web3 ethos and not come here and just extract. We want to see that. But for me, it's like, this might be a little bit of a hype for a while. It comes out, whatever it is, some mini game or some maybe some little metaverse or whatever. But how much dedication they're going to put into this? I don't think much, because what they want to do is take money from us, right? It's really the goal of any company, which is fine. But then you're not aligned with the Web3 ethos, where you're fostering community all the time. You're not gonna see the founders of these people, of this game or whatever, talking to the community. You're just not gonna see that. And I'm not bullish on that at all. When you see something like Axie Infinity or even Illuvium, and you see the founders in the chat, to this day, they're still in the chat, even though they have millions in the bank. I mean, it's a different vibe. It's just a different vibe. So that's one thing. And then if you actually click on Zynga on Twitter, you see they're not even proud of being in Web3. They haven't retweeted that. They just use the name. Like, go to the tweet. Oof.
Yo, that's actually the most damning thing that you said there, because we have seen this playbook in the past.
Go to Zynga. Yeah.
Yeah,
like, Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not really like, okay, this is kind of, I'm speculating here, but come on, why are you not bullish on your own Web3? Why didn't you see?
Damn.
You know, like, come on, like, what is that?
Yeah.
You know,
No,
you're scared.
That's a really great call out, because we've seen this playbook before. Big Web2 brands, legacy IP coming into the space with their hands out, extractive, coming in saying, give us all of your ETH, without actually investing themselves into the space, into onboarding their own communities, into educating their own communities, into providing value first. Like, why do we even care that you're here? And the fact that they aren't retweeting, again, we've seen this. If the original brands, the original companies aren't fully invested, don't believe in this, if they aren't going to actually make it a big initiative within their companies and their organizations, it usually fails. And for all the reasons that Kagi just said, right? They're not invested enough. They don't actually have any real interest in being in the space long term.
I do. I'm getting some weird vibes here. I know we touched on Wagme United here earlier this week. I got a Zeneca. I got a Whale Spaces. This is feeling. It sucks to say that too, because Zeneca's a really awesome, I think, guy.
He's not. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
He is. It's just we've seen a repetitive nature of some of these
influencers,
larger rollouts with the large influencers. Because certainly, like, I think that's where the narrative is right now. If you want to like lean positive, is like they're leaning into the Web3 community a little bit with this rollout, right? They've got a lot of strong individuals. The problem is we've seen the negative side of that too.
But it's a game. It's a game, though. Yeah. Like, I'm not even trying to be like, I don't want to be recognized or none of that crap. It's like, why aren't you reaching out to the gamers community? Like, why don't you reach out to me, to Bryson, and to all these gamers, do a space together, and maybe reach out to the founder of Axie, founder of Illuvium, founder of Star Atlas. Let's do a group together. Let's, why aren't you going for the gamers? Like, the people that are pushing gaming. What the fuck?
He's hot. He's hot right
now. To that point, I would say maybe one answer from their perspective would be that what they do is not hardcore gaming. They do these social, fun world builder games. Like, they're still riding the Farmville train, which I think is one of the most interesting things about what we've been seeing about them, is that like Zynga's been around for a while now. Farmville was the thing that initially propped them up. If they don't have any other like big success stories since then, I'm kind of like, okay, so that was it. Like, you just had one giant fucking success and you haven't done anything for the last 20 years to really innovate.
I don't think Marty's saying, why do Web3 people hate gatekeepers, then act like gatekeepers when people come in? I do think that phenomenon occurs in this industry. I sometimes I'm listening to Twitter Spaces. I'm like, man, like, I think Biggie was calling them NIMBYs. Like, people just like get really upset for whatever reason. It's like this space is an open and collaborative like ecosystem. Like, you have to allow other people to build shit even if you don't like it. But I don't think that's what we're doing up here. We're just saying be careful, right, of these other brands that have come into the space and been extremely extractive and things haven't worked out. So I don't think we're saying, hey, don't do it. We're just saying, hey, from the user side, from the collector or investor side, be careful with what we're seeing.
These are red flags that we've seen play out over the last couple of years, right? And we want them to succeed. Whenever we're talking about these big projects, we're always on the side of actually wanting them to succeed. But yeah, we're just skeptical. And to what Kagi's giving actual advice. Like, this is basically free workshop for them. Like, if they're watching this, they could probably take some ideas. We're up here trying to give thoughts on what they could do better, not just shit on them and tell them to fuck off and hope that they fail.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you can do to get in, right? That I just don't, I've seen this playbook already. Ubisoft did the same thing. They came out with the Ghost Recon. Here we have an NFT. Their community got mad and they backed out. Like, why are you backing out? Do you believe in this or not? Like, why are you so, like, I understand from a money perspective. I really do understand it from a business perspective. Like, you're going to take a hit after you're making billions of dollars a year for the idea of Web3. I would probably back out too. But I just don't like seeing this. Like we come in, if it doesn't work out, we're out. Like I don't know, man.
So I'm going to read from the website real quick. Auras are coming. The first SugarTown collection by Zynga, Web3 Gaming. Unique digital collectibles generated from our love for gaming. Every aura comes with access to the SugarTown platform, our games, rewards, and ... So it looks like they're forming this as kind of SugarTown is the studio, right? The gaming studio that's going to be releasing these different games, a la what you see with Yuga and some other platforms that are probably more in the gaming space.
Go ahead, Biggie.
Man, I don't know if I should bring this back, but I just have to. I'm just too curious. I want to know what Kagi has to say. You know, I'm a big fan of Zeneca myself too. I've been part of his group since inception. But like we brought up later, you know, in an earlier show, this phenomena that's going around, right, where they just name drop a whole bunch of prominent Web3 voices, you know, in the front page of whatever project is launching, right? And you know, I understand from the Web3 people there, like that, you know, it's a great business opportunity, right? And mostly when they call you an advisor, really, you know, it ends up being just you lending out your name for branding. You know, you're not really advising anything. And so my question to you there is there like should these influencers or prominent Web3 voices be a little more selective in how their name is represented when these projects, especially Web2 projects, come into the space with these intentions? You know, I think it's something that we're going to start seeing. Hopefully the community call them out a little bit, you know, to be a little bit more selective about who they partner up with and how they are represented within that ecosystem that they're promoting, because they are promoting. And unfortunately, a lot of people do look to them as signal, you know, to on where to look next, right, for opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't get any better than that in terms of like partnering up with a company that knows how to make games. So from that standpoint, I think it's a good choice. It's just you never know if they're actually gonna build for the long term, right? You never know their intentions. And even as a content creator, I have gotten, you know, deals that it's like, oh my god, like, you know, thousands of dollars, and I'm like, I don't know. They have credibility, but I don't know. So I either take it and don't eat and try to be like this virtuous fucking creator where I'm like, look, I can't work with you guys. I don't know if you guys are going to be here long term. I mean, it doesn't get better than Zynga, to be honest. I would have said yes too. I would have said yes. But I would have said yes and be skeptical at the same time. So it's like, I don't know.
But more than anything, in my opinion, is like I understand, like when people hold out a significant check in front of you, it's very tempting not to say no. But I think they undervalue themselves. They're undervaluing themselves. Like, you know, in business, if you select the price, then I'm going to select the terms. You know, it's just that's the way it goes. And what I see is that these people are just folding under the weight of the check. They're not really considering how their brand and how their brand name is going to be used. And eventually you do this enough times, you will eventually, you know, the people will catch on and your own brand will be diluted, right? Or go to shit. I think, you know, I mean, again, I don't know how much they offered Zeneca, you know, but I know he's a very thoughtful dude and he's well-meaning. And it just impresses me that, you know, you see these names slapped on all these different brands and labels constantly, continuously, and I'm like, how much due diligence are you really doing for this deal, right? I understand that the money's good and that the opportunity is great, but it's like you have some say in it too, being a prominent member of Web3 and having all these followers. You should be able to state some terms as well. So that's just my 2 cents there. Yeah,
I'll piggyback off what both of y'all are saying. So to Kaggy's point, whenever you have these big corporate companies, they can share a bunch of info with you. You can feel like you're doing due diligence and know all of the information that's at hand, but you still have zero control over the way that corporation is run. And when they make decisions that they're going to like cancel this organization, move funds around, whatever, that's the way that they work, right? And I saw this firsthand working at Electronic Arts. I literally moved up to the Bay out of LA, uprooted my entire life when I was getting engaged, to go work at Electronic Arts. And after a year of working there, they reorged the entire CMO, and the team that I moved up there for just disappeared. So regardless of how good a job I did, there was an internal Game of Thrones at a much higher level than me that made my entire fucking team that I moved up there for no longer exist. And that's literally how a lot of these big corporations are run. And that's part of the problem that we see in Web3 is that ultimately they're beholden to shareholders and Web2 business models that don't really align with the ethos of long-term community growth, all the types of things that we want to see, or founders hanging out in fucking Twitter spaces all day. So there's a conflict there that oftentimes leads to misaligned expectations or bad experiences for Web3 people. But what I will say to Biggie's point is that I do think it is up to us. If you're in this space, if you understand it better than a lot of these Web2 normies do that are trying to enter in, we need to be leaders and take on more responsibility. And a lot of these big influencers that are taking these checks, that are putting their names, slapping their names and taking the quick money are probably not putting enough of their own time, energy, and work into trying to lead those projects to success. It kind of seems like a lot of them take the check, walk away from it, go do the next project. And then if it fails, they're kind of like, oh, well, whatever. And
most investors are not value add investors. Most investors are just, that value add is that they gave them the fucking check. They don't do anything after that.
But we need to start to pay more attention to the people that are value add versus like not, or who has a good success rate. And this is where the reputation score comes in, because when you look at that list of like 40 fucking names like Gary Vaynerchuk, Snowfro that's on the Wagmu United, and then realize that basically they just gave all this money in their names to two young dudes with no experience and nobody was there checking in, helping them actually make that happen. That's what it seems like. It seems like they were just like, okay, go fucking run a 150-year-old English soccer club and get them promoted. Go figure it out. And none of those fucking experts or experienced business leaders were really helping them. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's how it is. That is actually how it is. They throw so much money around that it just takes one. If you have 10, 20, $30 million and you throw $500K on each project, it just takes one to make up for that 30 million that you're throwing around. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to put in the effort, to see every single project succeed. And I understand from an investor perspective that that's kind of the best way to invest. You got your own shit going on, you throw some money over there, a little percentage of your portfolio, and see what happens, right? And for them, 500K is like, like a lot for us. So,
all right, we are going to get on to the next topic here. I did have a couple breaking news pieces from NFT statistics that I wanted to share. We're going to stay in this gaming conversation as well, though. Following up on the DeGods piece, you can see the amount of speculation here on this collection. NFT stats saying blend loans on DeGods have only gone up, not down, since the price started to fall. Currently, there are 540, the most of any project. So this is just people leveraging even further now that DeGods is falling around 4 ETH. You're muted, GIF.
Well, yeah. Because if you can take out a loan right now and it goes lower, you can buy more DeGods.
Welcome to the blender. This is the blender.
Hey, I like
this is it.
That sticks. All right. If this video gets 100 likes, Q will shave his beard back to babyface. This shit is gonna go. Alt accounts, we need babyface Q. DP saying Prodigy, you're trying to have Q looking like Kermit the Frog in a snapback. If that is not the worst thing anyone's ever said about me, I don't know.
Smash the like.
All right. I'm gonna close out this poll here in the next 30 seconds. So give it a vote. Let's see if you think SugarTown is extractive or not. Interested in that. Kagi, I got an interesting tweet as well that I want to get your take on. And then GIF, I know you touched on some other things on the GM Web3 Morning Show. If we want to round out any topics or any stories that you saw there on the episode, feel free to do so. So this is from Robert Hugendorn, another guy that's been around in the industry for a long time. Shout out to him, who I believe the website was Play to Earn Games at the time. He had like a newsletter or like blog there for a long time, but he's working with DApp Radar now. Existing gaming projects with big updates on the horizon: Sand, Gala, Splinterlands, and Ronin Network. He's giving some shout outs here. He's giving some love to some gaming projects he thinks are doing well. Kagi, I kind of want your take as we round out the show.
Sandbox?
What do you think?
Sandbox?
Yeah,
What?
I mean, the way I break down these projects is one by ecosystems, right? And then by IP. So ecosystems, of course, you got Ronin, you got Gala, you got IMX, you got GameSwift. You got so many others. You got Nakamoto Games. You got Magic Token. There's so many. I actually have a list that actually blew up on Twitter. I have a list of tokens, so if people want to check that out, I can link it later here on the chat. And then I see the IP side, which is AXS, ApeCoin. You got Ghost token. You got SPS, which is Splinterlands, right? So yeah, these are nice developments. There's so much more going on, like so much more. I can't even keep up. I know about all of those though. Yeah, that's not a good list. Those lists are
Well,
brain dead.
hey, don't wait.
They're his bags.
Give me a little bit of give me a little of that link now, man. I'd love to.
Yeah. Can I actually share a screen here?
Yeah, you can share a screen, or you can also drop it here in that private chat, and I can bring it up. But I believe you have screen access.
Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna share right now. Let me see. I have it right here. One second. I got this, guys. I got this. All right. Here we go. Where's the screen sharing? Okay. Share screen window. I'll share the same screen. All right. Let me know. Can you see this?
Good.
All right. So this one right here, if you're looking for 100x gaming tokens, not financial advice, obviously this is like Pumpinomics. Not all of them are going to do 100x. Some of them will. I put together this list right here, and this list is composed of many tokens. You got Immutable, you got Gala, you got Magic, Merit Circle. They started as a play-to-earn guild, but they're actually doing their own chain on Avalanche. So you're going to start seeing this a lot. A lot of products that didn't work, or companies that didn't work, kind of using that money to create their own chain, and they're onboarding games. So this is going to be something like Ronin, right? Or like Gala or whatever. So you got Ronin Network, you got Vulcan Forge, you got Chromia, you got Ultra, Avagachi. I put it here as well because they're doing their own blockchain. You got Nakamoto Games, Games for a Living, Myria, Zaya. These are mobile. Play is mobile. Pomerium is mobile, and Octagon. The most bullish I'm on right now is GameSwift. This one is going to be a CK Supernet on Polygon 2.0, just like Immutable X. So this is kind of like the competition to Immutable X. And Immutable X is at a 1.2 billion. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me see, fully diluted right here. $1.3 billion market cap. And then when you look at GameSwift, I think in a bull market is gonna go all the way up there to 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion. Immutable X is probably gonna go 15, 20 billion in a bull market. So, I mean, for me, this is a good buy, and I'm invested in this 100%. All right, so
full transparency.
I'm invested. I'm invested. I want to see that shit pump.
We were having the investor conversation here earlier. And me and Kagi were fortunate enough to do the seed round investments here in the last cycle. One thing that you should know there, sitting at home, if you're like not getting into seed round investments, a lot of times it doesn't work out for those folks. A lot of times you'd be better buying on the open market.
We lost so much money.
If you buy on the open market before the thing 10x's, which eventually, like if you had done that with Flow, if you had done that with Aurori, if you had done that with a lot of tokens that me and Kagi got involved in, you're locked up as a seed investor. And what happens is this shit pumps and you don't get your tokens yet. So you're on some type of cliff, or you're on some type of extended release with your tokens that you actually miss out on selling in that period, and you're kind of locked in for a long-term value add investor, if you will. But if you're just investing, like Kagi's saying, this is not financial advice, you actually have an ability to do many multiples because it's liquid.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Like, sometimes I've lost so much money. I mean, there's a game. I'm not gonna say the name, but I put 100K in that project, and they just didn't do a good marketing strategy in terms of their token. 100K down the drain. I'm not blaming anybody. I don't go on Twitter and I cry. People cry for $500.
Dude, I know. Oh my God. Like, dude, again, the things that we've been seeing over the last couple of days on X around the DeGods, the amount of copium, or people like putting out these long-winded threads about like, my life's gonna either change and I'm gonna lose all of my life savings, or it's like it's like Frank better do this or that. Like, oh my God, dude. Have some self-respect.
The best one I've heard is yacht line or bread line.
Some of that is true though. Like if you
it's true.
Like lever up here in the NFT space, we're full degens, man. It's wild. Yeah, really great discussion, Kagi. Let's keep having it for like another 5 minutes and then get out of here. I will say the Parallel token is super interesting. Parallel has been around forever. I think Young Content was talking earlier, like he supported it for a long time. They just released their beta for their trading card game, which is, I think, why everything is getting a lot of hype. Obviously, the rollout on Coinbase protocol as well, that base. And the Parallel token is doing extremely well. I think it's sitting at like 323rd on CoinMarketCap. So still, I mean, it's not a huge project in the terms of in the top 100. It's also not now a 2000 like you saw with GameSwift. Like having a market cap that low is a really great find there. So if you want to degen out, by all means, a 2000 ranked on CoinMarketCap is one to find, not financial advice. But I like Parallel token rounding about that combo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really investing in any IP tokens. I think people should buy those tokens to actually use it. There's going to be some pumps, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
What do you mean by IP tokens?
IP tokens are basically tokens that only power an IP. They don't power an ecosystem. So the demand of that token is based on the IP itself. For example, Bored Ape for me is definitely going to pump. AXS is going to pump. They're coming out with so much. They're coming out with so much product for Axie that it's going to pump at some point, and is backed up by a treasury with millions of dollars in Ethereum. And they were supposed to distribute revenue back to AXS holders. So it's supposed to be a security. Obviously.
Well, it sounds like the difference there between what you call an IP token versus an ecosystem token is just a matter of like whether they're basically servicing one DApp or multiple DApps. Like, do you have a whole ecosystem of a bunch of different DApps that are all using your coin, which is what Ape is now doing, right? They're expanding, and they have partnered with Animoca Brands to help them do that, and brands like Gucci, et cetera. So even though that kind of started as, I guess, an IP token, they're now building out that ecosystem and a lot of other applications or dApps. But something like an immutable X, right? Like that's an ecosystem. That's a protocol that a lot of other apps or dApps are being developed on.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe Ape is going to become, I think it's going to become a blockchain. And they're going to come out of nowhere with that. So if you really believe in Ape as a Bored Ape, you're bullish on Bored Apes, I would take that bet. I would literally take that bet, because if they come out with a blockchain and you're literally paying Ape for transactions on their chain, I mean, that token is going to absolutely moon out the wazoo.
Yeah, we're seeing that a little bit with Rec League here. So hopefully we have some success with that initial rollout. This is going to be the first one, right? Like you can say Dookie Dash was, but it was kind of a mini game that was like there for 4 weeks and it wasn't.
Trial run.
Yeah, this is the first kind of out the gate. Let's see how this works. Let's see if we can get other people into the ecosystem as well. All right, I'm going to close out the conversation here. I did have a Kicks update as well. So Speculator Art, he's an awesome follow as well. And he's created Crypto Raiders. He's like a co-founder there. He's doing a public playtest here. Midnight Heist playtest will happen at the end of the month. 100 players will compete for 10,000 USDC. It looks like, and I was watching a little bit of the trailer. It looks a little bit like in a TFT version of, let me make sure I get this, a TFT version of like a Rainbow Six, if you will. And I know we're having loading issues here, but he's creating his team, and then he's able to go in, and I haven't seen the full gameplay here. He's just giving a teaser, but I wanted to get that out to y'all. If y'all are interested, you could potentially be one of those 100 getting involved in this new play test here from Kicks. And then the last update I had was apparently, then this is from Lucky Trader, the vinyl toys, the vinyl Doodles announcement has come out. The upcoming vinyl Doodle figurines come in 3 types, available online and in camp stores on August 18th, and they're 1 foot tall.
That's big. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I love the Doodles IP. I really do. I think it's one of the best IP and translates very well to many different mediums. But like when I look at these, I just feel like they could have done a lot cooler vinyls. Like I'm not. I don't think these are that cool. Like why would I want a one? I don't know. I just feel like they could have chosen cooler Doodles than the one that they chose. So I'm kind of disappointed. Like when the Bored Apes did. And I'm not just trying to fud it. I'm just giving my honest opinion from a creative standpoint. Like when the Bored Apes did their vinyls, I think it was like Super Plastic. Like those things look fucking dope. Those things look awesome. These to me are just they're kind of blah. They're just bland. So I'm not sure why they chose like the most basic, boring Doodles for their vinyls, but I feel like they kind of did.
We got a Doodles are perverted comment here. Go ahead, Keg.
No, I mean, I think the right way to go about this vinyls is allow every single holder to mint out a real one in real life. So basically you connect, you pay for the Doodle, right? You pay the price, but it's the original one, right? And only you can basically get it. So I don't know. I just feel like it has to be more innovative. Like 3 Doodles, like if I have a Doodle, I want to connect to my Doodle. Like
that's a tough ask. 10,000 unique vinyls. That's a tough ask.
But yeah, but you're gonna charge, what it is. It's gonna cost probably each one of them. Their cost is gonna be like $200 each. They're gonna ask the community to pay $600. People will pay it. I'll pay $600 if I really believe in my Doodle. I'm like, okay, I'll pay $600.
Yeah.
They make some money. Pay for the chipping and all that with the $200. Yeah, whatever.
I mean, they're going for the mass market, but I agree it's not really that innovative. And again, I feel like they just could have done cooler ones than the ones that they chose. Quantum Variant over here saying we need that world coin cheese. I agree. Take my retinas, take my biometric data. I don't care. Just give me that universal basic income, please. But also Quantum apparently didn't know that Blend is part of Blur. Yes, that's right. You have the pawn shop inside the casino now. Blend is within Blur. I'm surprised you didn't know that because Quantum Variant is one of the most informed, bright people in the entire Web3 community. Super, super smart guy. And by the way, he led a conversation on layer 2s on GM Web3 this morning. So shout out Quantum. Appreciate you, dude.
Yo, what is Reboot? You talked about Reboot. I looked it up. I don't understand that. I went to the advisors. I see Bryson, G Money.
I'd love your initial takes on that, please.
G Money, Loopify. I'm like, look, you're not gonna get me. Not me. You won't get me. You won't get me. That's all I gotta.
Why won't they get the Juice Master?
Bro, number one, I don't understand what it is. It looks like a reward protocol, like kind of like a layer to reward.
Arcade protocol.
What do you think, man? I don't know, man. I feel like it's a pump and dumpinomics, most likely, and I just don't. I don't see anything that I'm like, dude, I gotta get into this. I don't see it, and it's not because I saw Bryson. I didn't know Bryson was there. I was just looking at everything. I'm like, what is this? I don't get it. And then when I see Bryson and I see the other collaborators, go to collaborators. They call it collaborators.
Are you in?
Okay, they're not advisors.
Yeah, they're not advisors.
Kagi, this is basically what you said that you're interested in, though, because I think what they're doing here is they're creating an ecosystem token for arcade games, arcade dApps.
Yes, but we have to see what it is, right? We don't. There's no like. I'm not just gonna put money. Like I don't see the vision. Like I don't. It's not clear to me.
But that's clearly the intent, right? That's why they highlight those prominent figures of Web3 who lent their name out for God knows what. I don't know, man. It's starting to kind of mess with me a little bit.
For token allocations, that's what I would guess.
It almost feels like counterintuitive when they get this amount of individuals together. Like they want to kind of reach the masses, but I think to a lot of us that have been around for a long time, it's like it's a bad signal. It's a negative. It's like a red flag almost.
Yeah, you shouldn't
Maybe
have
that
to
doesn't-
rely on that to be your main blast off, right? Like Kagi said, if if Zynga's producing this, let Zynga promote it, right? Like believe in your project. Same thing with this. Should be a little more clear about what it is you're launching instead of just leading with, "Hey, look who's our collaborators."
Yeah,
And collaborators, I'm on to you, motherfuckers.
Yo, Biggie's on to you. I agree. It would be awesome to have more transparency around like why these people are putting their names there. What are they actually doing, et cetera, et cetera. It is it's a catch-22 for businesses though, because unfortunately in the attention economy that we live in, like influencers and attention does dictate a lot of the success of projects. I wish I'd understood that even more when we were launching our projects, because we just tried to do everything organic community, and that was great for a while, but like we never really broke out of our bubble because we didn't understand how to kind of like court a lot of that influence and attention. So it's tough, man. They need those people, but also like we need more transparency, because otherwise it feels like a weird deal.
I don't really care about the collaborators per se. Like I don't really mind it because I'm in that position. But for example, GameSwift, I'm collaborating with them, right? I'm an investor with GameSwift, right? But I knew what the product was. I knew what it was. They had a platform already. Before they even launched a token, they had a literal platform. You could go to GameSwift, download new games. There's a white paper that kind of lays out exactly what their intentions are. So I was like, okay, I'm down. I'm down to collaborate with you guys. GameSwift, boom, let's do it, because I see the vision. In this case, I just don't see the vision. What are you selling me? Like, sell me, but what are you selling me? A token?
Sell me this pen.
Tell me this token.
The thing is that, what is this token? Like, what are you selling me? Because tokens, like I showed you with that coin market cap link, there's many tokens, and a lot of them have product, right? Most of them, actually, all of them have product. So why would I go buy this token? Like, what's your product?
Especially in the Web3 space, you see tokens be released to maybe early investors, maybe not, but like released when there is no product, right? Like that's I think the thing that Kaggy's getting at a bunch is what you see is a rollout for Reboot GG token, and then it's immediately available in liquid, like when there's no product. Eventually they'll get there. Eventually, if they have the right intentions, they will. But right out the box, a lot of this stuff is sometimes exit liquidity, sometimes a lot of different things can happen when stuff is so liquid so quick in the crypto space. So anyways, folks, this was a great conversation. I'm going to let my co-host here round us out. I do want to have one last thing after you guys are all done kind of saying your piece here on it and anything you're involved in or anything to round out the episode. So let's go in a roundabout order here. Biggie, you'll be first. What's going on, man?
OBOT family, this was awesome. Great having Kagi on. I loved his takes. And I'll see you on Thursday. Looking forward to it.
Aggie, send us out, man.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, thank you guys for having me. You guys, are smart individuals. I like talking to smart people, or people that have, their own takes, their own like feeling about, there's so many people that are so many cheaps. So many cheaps in here in the market. People that don't have their own thoughts. Sometimes I tweet something, and then I see other content creators kind of tweet something similar, and I'm like, wait, don't you have your own thoughts? Like, I don't want to call them out, but it happens in everything. It's like you gotta come up with your own thoughts, and you guys, all three of you, have your own thoughts, and I like having conversations with people like that. So always enjoy being on the show.
Loved having you back.
Yeah, we love having combos with you, dude. So big love to you, Kaggy, Biggie, Nifty Q, all y'all out there hanging out with us in the chat. Yo, salute to y'all. Seriously, showing up every day, making it worth it for us to keep showing up. A couple quick last notes. The rehash will go out in a couple hours. If you haven't been seeing these, we are taking all of this news, all the headlines of things around the Web3 space, and putting it into an easily digestible thread. You can see it's just all the headlines from yesterday here put together, super, super easy, and lots of great info, lots of great links. So look out for the rehash. And if you like it, we always appreciate the likes and the retweets on those, helping to get it out to more people. We're doing our best to make that valuable. The other quick thing that I wanted to share briefly is base over $235 million bridge so far. So quite a graph. How much of that is mercenary capital? How much of it is going to exit just as soon as it entered? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. And I'm excited to keep following along with that base update. That's about it, man. Shout out Rec League again for sharing us. That was dope.
Yeah, shout out to Harry. Shout out to Yatsu as well, the GOAT there. Guys, this was another fantastic episode. We had the quad box here for NFT Live today. If you liked the content, if you like these creators, leave a like on the show. Support us however you can. We'll try to support you as well. Let us know what you need. DM us. You know what the deal is. Kagi, I'm going to try something here. I want us to go out on a juice call. So let's try to do the juice call if you're down for it. But we'll roll out with that.
Wait. Oh, I'm drinking the fucking juice.